Welcome, welcome. We got some good news today, man. I'm hyped up. Let's go. Let's get to it. What's up, everybody? How are we doing? What's up, Flood? What's up, Spy Nick? Yo, hit that like button. We got some good news today. Arik Armstead has confirmed that he's playing Sunday against the Dolphins. I am hyped up. Let's go. We needed this man in the interior of the D line. Huge, huge, huge return. How effective will he be? I don't know. We'll find out. He might be a little rusty, but he's been practicing. He's good to go, and he will play Sunday. That's a huge, huge deal for the 49ers. He hasn't played in a long time, since like week 4. You know, he's had the foot and ankle injuries, the hairline fracture, the plantar fasciitis, all that stuff. But he is ready to go, man. I'm hyped up. I am excited to see my man, Arik Armstead, play Sunday. We need it, man. We need Arik Armstead to come back. You know what I mean? He's definitely a guy that's going to help this D-line, help Nick Bosa, because Nick Bosa's out there doing everything. And Nick Bosa won Defensive Player of the Month. And, I mean, that is huge, man. Defensive Player of the Month. And the man has been getting held and tripled and, choked and all that good stuff. And now Armstead's going to be there to help take some pressure off of him. And he's going to be able to help the run game. The one area where the 49ers have struggled is third down and short, and able to stop teams there. Teams are able to run on them, and it's because they haven't had that elite presence in the interior of the D-line. I know they've had some good players. Kevin Givens has stepped up. Hassan Ridgeway, they played pretty good. McGill, the guy they called up, that's been on the practice squad. I mean, they've been okay, but they're not elite. They're not getting paid millions of dollars like Arik Armstead. So we need this guy. He's going to take a lot of pressure off of Bosa's shoulders. And the key to beat the Dolphins is getting pressure on Tua. We have to get to him. We have to limit him from getting the ball out. He can get the ball out pretty quickly. He's a quick release guy. He can get that. He can sling it if he needs to when he has the time to Tyreek and Waddle. So this is huge that Armstead is back, man. I'm hyped. I don't know about you guys, but this was huge news that Armstead is back. So some other good news today. My man, Christian McCaffrey, came back to practice today, and he says he's fully ready to play. He says that there's not going to be any problems, and he's back and better than ever. He says he'll be playing full. So Christian McCaffrey, he says he's got, he's good. He dodged a bullet, and Arik Armstead's back. I'm hyped, man. This is big. We need all hands on deck. It's going to be a rainy day. It's going to be a rainy day on Sunday. It's rainy already. The rain has died down, but I've been staring out this window, man. It was rain, rain just pouring today. Rain been pouring all day, and it's going to be raining on Sunday against the Dolphins. It's going to be wet. Bring your ponchos. If you're going to the Niner game, bring your ponchos. It's going to be a crazy, crazy, rainy slip and slide game, and that helps the Niners because it's going to limit the speed of the Dolphins. Steve-O, what's good, my man? The Discord mod. He says, join the Discord if you want to chop it up with Raj and the Faithful. Yo, we got a pretty cool Discord. Check it out, RSF 49ers Discord. My man Steve-O has really set it up nice. Got all the tabs going. We got the game day chats, the lounge, breaking news, all that stuff. I should probably post the Armstead news in there. I've been so busy today. But yeah, man, that's pretty good. We got the Discord, and on game day, we got another mod that's in there that streams the game. So it's fun times in there. But what is up? How you guys feeling? Arik Armstead back? This is huge. You know what? And every single week, everybody was getting all upset about Armstead. Oh, my God, he's never coming back. Trust the process. It's a long, injury he had to deal with. The hairline fracture, that stress fracture. What do we say? About 6 to 8 weeks. And it's been about 8 weeks. So he's back on time. And this is a massive return for the 49ers, who get ready to play the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. So I don't know, man. I'm thinking this is a huge revelation for the 49ers. Not only that, okay, so Christian McCaffrey's back, Arik Armstead is back, and Charles Omenihu who practiced today. He had a knee issue yesterday. After the game, he was been a little sore, but he practiced today. And Spencer Burford practiced today. He was dealing with an ankle issue, right? He practiced today. That's huge. This team has been really dodging the bullet in these injuries. Just like CMC said, he says he dodged the bullet on something pretty big. So, it was just a little irritation, but he was out there running and gunning and practicing. He looked good out there. So I'm hyped, man. Very hyped up to hear all this news today. It's good to have Burford out there. He's a young buck. He's really been developing, and I'm happy he's healthy. Him and Brunskill have been rotating, and keeping each other fresh and everything. And that line has been good. Shout out to Spencer Burford. He has not allowed a sack this whole season. This whole season, he has not allowed a sack. They've played 12 games. He's a rookie, and he hasn't allowed a sack. I think he has the least amount of pressures given up on the whole O-line too, man. Shout out to Spencer Burford. He's been playing out of his mind, dude. I'm telling you, I really like what I've seen out of him. Let me see that exact stat. Spencer Burford. Let's see. Spencer Burford. Did he? Yeah, I think that's the right stat. Yeah, so he has not allowed a sack this year. His 11 pressures. Sorry, he's allowed 11 pressures. It's the fewest among rookie offensive linemen. That's crazy. He's got the best, pressure allowed rate against all rookie linemen in the NFL, all rookie offensive linemen. And he hasn't allowed a sack this year. So I'm glad he's healthy. The guy's been really stepping up this year. So he's back. Charles Omenihu, who's been a really underrated player, again, he's healthy. I feel like everything's kind of working out for this team. They're slowly getting back to 100%. Remember, they had a lot of injuries early in the season. So it's good to see. There was one key injury today. Deebo Samuel did not practice today. He was limited yesterday. So I think they're just trying to be very careful and cautious with Deebo. I think he'll play on Sunday, but they got to be very careful. He had a hamstring last week. He has a quad issue this week. I'm sure they got to just be very careful and let him go out there and not overstrain him in practice. So good stuff, man. S. Flood says the rain might be a positive slow down the Dolphins. Be positive to slow down the Dolphins. I agree. The rain's going to help take away a little bit of their speed. You're running full speed on that rain. You're going to slip. You're going to look like a Looney Tunes character, So good stuff, man. What's up, 49er Media? Tax says, I thought it was Aaron Banks. No, but Spencer Burford's the guy that hasn't allowed a sack all season. And he's been killing it. As a rookie, he's a rookie starting as a guard, man. That was a hell of a draft pick. 4th-round pick. Good stuff, man. Banks allowed a sack against the Saints, says Eric. Yeah, so he finally, after 12 weeks, allowed a sack. That was his first sack of the season. It's crazy because every week I was sitting there looking at the stats the day after. I'm like, oh, my God, here we go. Aaron Banks, not allowed a sack. I was tweeting that like almost every week, and he finally allowed a sack. But, I mean, he's played phenomenal this year. You got to love Aaron Banks. He better make the Pro Bowl. I'm telling you, man, this guy's had a Pro Bowl season. Aaron Banks, everybody, was worried if he was going to be able to come in and step up for Laken Tomlinson, who's been phenomenal, in his time with the Niners. But I'm telling you, Aaron Banks came in, and he's been so good. I got so much respect for my guy. Yeah, it was an impressive street tack. I agree. Steve O says, next year's Trent left tackle, Banks left guard, new center, new right guard, Burford to right tackle. Maybe. They might shift Burford to right tackle. He played tackle in college. We'll see. I mean, that's definitely something to look into. Next year's O-line is definitely going to be a little different. So I don't know if the Glynchy's going to be back. And maybe they might upgrade at center. I mean, Jake Brendel hasn't been horrible. You got to remember, this was his first year as a starting center. So he kind of took some time to kind of get, in the swing of things. He hasn't been horrible, but he hasn't been like elite. So I could see them sticking around with them, but I also think that the center next year is going to be Nick Zakelj, the rookie they drafted this year. They kind of redshirted him. I feel like they're grooming him to be the center if he can really pick it up and do his thing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. I'm just glad that Armstead's back, man. It's good to see because a lot of people have been doubting out They've been doubting my boy Arik Armstead, man. My man Miguel says, "How are you feeling?" I'm feeling a lot better lately. Actually, I'm feeling good. I've been. I know I was under the weather for a while, but I'm doing a lot better. And now the weather's back out here, going crazy. It's just this crazy weather time. But yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I definitely had to have some soup and all that good stuff, keep myself healthy. But both guards are Pro Bowlers, says Eric. You can make the case for Spencer Burford, 100%. He's been playing out of his mind as a rookie. Like it's amazing. Even whether they make the Pro Bowl or not, we have two really good guards, and they're young. The future's set with those two guys. You have two solid starters, and they're both like under 23 years old. That's crazy. It's crazy, man. They're about 23 years old or younger. So, two quality starters. Aaron Banks in his second season, Spencer Burford in his first season. I mean, you can't even. That's amazing. You got Trent Williams, an All-Pro generational tackle at left tackle. You just really got to figure out what's going to happen with center and right tackle. Two studs, man. Two studs. Tack says the Niners do a good job of redshirting players. That's their thing. They get these young guys, they redshirt them, and that's what they do. It's great to see. It's really good to see. So I love to see the development. Sometimes we get a little irritated because we want to see them play. Some rookies come up and they step up their first year because they have to, because of injuries or whatever. But for the most part, Kyle likes to let these guys develop, take their time, unless they're like a premium rookie they drafted, in the top 2 picks, they're going to get their shine. But for the most part, most of these guys, they like to redshirt unless they absolutely have to play them. The player development for the 49ers has been good. So I got no problems with that. Man, oh man. Sunday, though. Sunday. It's going to be good times. Jordan Mason. So let's talk about Jordan Mason. This is a guy we all expect to come in and play a big role on Sunday because, obviously Elijah Mitchell, he should be missing 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, I don't know if Mitchell is even going to play this season. If they make a deep run into the playoffs and Mason's balling out of control, do you even put Mitchell back in? I don't know. I don't know if Mitchell's even coming back this season. It's an unfortunate situation. Both of his knees have been hurt with the same injury, an MCL sprain. That sucks, man. So now they're up to the younger guys. It's going to be Jordan Mason's season. Tevin Coleman might get called up. That's my prediction I've been saying all week. And then you got Ty Davis-Price, the rookie third-round pick. Maybe he steps in and gets a role. But the great news is Christian McCaffrey's back, right? It is so good to hear that Christian McCaffrey is going to be playing. He said, fully expects to be 100% ready for Sunday. So, McCaffrey's going to be there, going to get the checkdowns. He's going to be the guy that's going to be getting those outside runs and things like that. But Jordan Mason, this guy can run up the gut. He's fast. He's got a little speed on him. He's powerful. He's hard to tackle. This guy's going to be really nice with it, especially if it's raining. I think they're going to get a big handful of Jordan Mason on Sunday. I really expect Jordan Mason to be this guy that just goes boom, 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 and runs all over Miami. I think that's what they got to do, especially in a rainy game. It's a rainy game. It's going to be tough. You have to pound the rock. You have to make the other team tired. And again, the Dolphins haven't played a defense as physical as the 49ers. That's what's really going to be the X factor is the 49ers defense has been so good. So both of these teams have been on a run. They've both been pretty much going on a winning streak since over the last month. The Dolphins have like the number 1 offense in that time. The 49ers actually have the number 2 offense during this little run. Like it's crazy. I know they struggled last week, but overall, there is a stat that says they're probably one of the top offenses in the league over the last month. Not the whole season. Over the last month, they've been pretty good offensively. The key difference is the Dolphins defense versus the 49ers defense. Overall, I think the 49ers defense has been like top 4, where the Dolphins have been, I think between 16 and 20. So that's the big difference. The Dolphins defense versus the 49ers defense. 49ers defense is a lot more challenging than the Dolphins defense. So it's going to help the Niners stay in the game. They're going to be able to score. And all they got to do is really figure out how to be efficient in the red zone. That has been the issue, is red zone inefficiency. What can they do? Pass it to Juwan Jennings, my boy. So we'll see. Yeah, Alberto says Miami does not have a good defense. They're not great. They're a middle-of-the-road defense. That's why they had to go and get Bradley Chubb. Like, they needed Bradley Chubb. But they do not have a premium defense. Like, their linebacking core is middle of the pack. Now, that's what's going to be a big key because we have guys that can run the ball, get into the second level, and you have a guy like George Kittle. George Kittle can exploit the Dolphins. If we can if we can protect Jimmy, he can exploit them over the middle. So that is going to be a big X factor. George Kittle, can Debo be healthy enough and be that bully? I think that Debo is another guy that really needs to be able to help and just bully his way through the Miami Dolphins defense. That's the guy I really want to see go off on Miami, because we haven't had that big signature Debo game. Manny says, why did they trade Jeff? It was a business decision, unfortunately. We've talked about that many times. They knew they weren't probably going to be able to bring him back. He was going to be a little bit more expensive. They had CMC. They got Mitchell, who they believed in, and Mitchell's cheaper. He's younger. They thought that was the move, and unfortunately for Mitchell, he got hurt, and it wasn't the brightest move in terms. If you're looking back and, hindsight's 2020, it's like, oh man, what are they doing? But at the same time, they really thought they had a gem in Mitchell. If he could stay healthy, he's great. And you got to remember, Jeff Wilson, when he was on that team for a couple of years, he went through a lot of injuries too, and then he really figured it out. He got healthy and he was balling out. So it unfortunately was just a business decision. And, Wilson talked about it. The Niners talked about it. It was a tough decision because you really like Wilson, but they were really hoping that Mitchell could come back and stay healthy. And unfortunately, he didn't. So, he requested the trade because he knew he was third string on the roster. He wasn't going to get ahead of Mitchell and CMC. So, he wanted to go to a team where he can prove himself. This is a contract year for Jeff Wilson. So it's in his best interest to go out there wherever he plays and dominate and put out a good year, put good film on tape. And Dolphins were a team that he's familiar with. They run the same offense. So the Niners did him a solid, say, okay, we'll send you to the Dolphins and we'll get a 5th-round pick out of you. You're undrafted. And for Jeff Wilson, it was great because he goes to a team, he can shine. And now after this season, he's going to get paid really nicely because he's going to play really nice with the Dolphins. He already has so far. So, they were loyal. They were nice to him at the end of the day. So again, business decision. It sucks. Speaking of business decisions, 49ers have a lot of things to consider this offseason, right? We know we're not getting close to the offseason yet, but Nick Bosa is that main factor. And now today he was named Defensive Player of the Month, right? Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Month for the month of November. He played 3 games. He had a bye week, and he still got Defensive Player of the Month. What does that mean? That means his money is just continued to stack. Every time he does something good, every accolade, it just makes his price go up. This man is going to get paid so much money. Blank check. He might be the highest paid player in the NFL after this season, the way it's going, especially if he gets Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if he will. I know Micah Parsons is still kind of like the front runner because he has those big turnover-worthy plays. We talked about that. Nick needs a strip sack turnover type. He needs to have one of those plays, defining type game. Although this game against the Saints, he did have a very big defining moment, a clutch 4th down goal line stance sack. That was huge. That's a big defining moment of the season. That was a clutch play. He needs to continue to have clutch plays, rack up the sacks, the QB pressures, the QB hits, all that stuff, all the great pass rush moves, his stats he's accumulated is great. Because right now the 49ers have the number 1 defense. Who's the best player on the number 1 defense? It's Nick Bosa. So that's where you're going to say, that's where he can make the argument and say, I'm the best player in the NFL defensively, Defensive Player of the Year. So you stack these awards, it's great for him. But he needs to have a big turnover-worthy game, and I think he gets it this Sunday against the Dolphins. I think Nick Bosa is going to come out, have 2 sacks on Tua. I think he's going to have this strip sack, fumble. It's going to be crazy. And I know Nick Bosa is always being held, but Arik Armstead coming back is massive for the guy. Huge. Huge. Tyler says, where did he get the sweatshirt? Honestly, I don't even remember. I've had this sweatshirt for a long time. They usually sell it at the team store. I know they do sell these at the team store and online. They always have like these salute to service jerseys. I don't know where they might check online, but I got this jersey a while or this sweatshirt a long time ago. I don't even remember. Bosa, 5 years, 200 million easy. I agree. VZ says, what do you think of Jimmy Ward's live last night? It's a lot of what he said against on KNBR, basically, that, he's not getting enough respect in the league. He's doing the team a solid. He's being, a versatile guy. He's always been a versatile guy. He's always been a team first guy. He's taken money. He's taken less money, was what I'm saying. he's taken a pay cut to play for the Niners for many times in his career. He's, he knows the team has been solid to him over the years and given him chances when he probably shouldn't have got chances. But at the same time, he's also been loyal to them, took less money. He's played positions he probably doesn't want to play. And now he's playing nickel. And he says, at first he really didn't like playing that nickel. And that's one of those things, because he was a top 100 player at safety. That's his spot. But of course he got hurt, and they want to have the best 11 players on the team. Nothing personal. Gibson's playing really good. He really loves Gibson. Him and Gibson have a good relation. But at the end of the day, Jimmy's making the most of it, because he says, look, what safety can go out there and play nickel? He goes, there's not a lot of them. So he's been studying nickel. And I know he's not the best nickel corner, because he's not a nickel corner. He's a safety, but he's doing the best he can to go out there and put the best film on tape. And that's exactly what we talked about all week, is he's trying to put his best film on tape, because it's a contract season. He even said it many times. He said it in the KNBR interview. He said it on the live last night, that the team has not offered him a contract. He doesn't know what's going to happen down the line, but he is going to test the free agent market, as he should. He's been in this league for a long time. He's 31 years old. He's not getting any younger. He wants to get paid one last time. I want to see Jimmy Ward back, but I don't think it's going to happen, because there is a guy we just talked about, Nick Bosa. He needs a lot of money. Brandon Ayuk, he needs a lot of money. There's a lot of players that need a lot of money coming up in this off seasons, and Jimmy Ward may not be the guy, because he wants to get paid. He took a pay cut last time. I don't think he's taking a pay cut, because he has put in blood, sweat, and tears for this organization, and they're still making him play a position he doesn't want to. Although he's making the most of the situation, because he's a really good person. He's a good team player, and he knows whatever he has to do to win a championship is whatever he has to do. But I don't expect Jimmy Ward to be back next season. I think he's going to test the market and try to get that bag, as he should. He deserves to get money. He deserves to get money, right? So Alex says, I need a lot of money. So do I. I need a lot of money. Let's get it. Let's all get a lot of money. Shout out to Jimmy Ward. He needs a lot of money. At the end of the day, he's been in the league for 9 years. He's going to be a 10-year vet next year. He deserves money. I mean, you put in that much work, go get it, because it's not promised. A career is not promised. He could have a career-ending injury any second. He wants his money. He wants to retire. Who knows what happens after his career's over? Like, these guys, they play for the money, the guaranteed money. They put in all their work, and and their hard work, and it should be rewarded. So I like the guy. I love the guy. Jimmy's always been a class act, and he speaks from the heart. He's kind of unfiltered, and he keeps it 100. He doesn't say any bad stuff. He doesn't say any favoritism stuff. He just tells it like it is. So you gotta love it. Jimmy Tack says Jimmy will end up making a clutch interception that Tart couldn't make in the playoffs. Either Jimmy or Talanoa for the Hufanga. You guy's a playmaker. Fucking Hufanga, man. But I'll say this about Jimmy. He has been absolutely, again, a team player, man. A phenomenal team player. Again, they tell him to jump, he says how high. They tell him to skip, he says how far. It's just the type of guy he has been. I'm sure he didn't want to play that nickel corner spot, because he's getting criticized on social media. Everyone's like, oh, he sucks. He's getting burned. He's getting dog walked. He's not a nickel cornerback, but he's making the most of it. But he made a good point last night when he was talking. He says, what nickel or converted nickel, what player that plays nickel corner is going against wide receiver ones? He's the only nickel cornerback that's out there playing against a wide receiver one. So they know, teams know, okay, Jimmy Ward, we got to test this man. And he's playing wide receiver ones. And he's trying his best to go out there and play wide receiver. Who puts the wide receiver one on the nickel? Nobody. But Jimmy Ward's getting tested because they don't think he can handle it. And he's playing his ass off, man. I give him a lot of credit. So shout out to Jimmy Ward. I hope he's back next season. But if I had to make a prediction, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet on him coming back next year. Again, he's 31. They're going to go younger. So we'll see. 6 likes. Y'all got to hit the like button. Come on now. Alberto's right. Hit that like button. It takes a second. Hit that like button. VZ says, I'm still looking forward to that Fred Warner interception to the house. Let's get it. I hope he gets that Fred Warner interception. I got to see it. I want to see it. I want to see that Fred Warner interception. He's been close. He's been very close. Jimmy is getting paid in Jets green. I'm going to throw this at you, although I do think Jimmy will probably, if he goes to another team, is going to I think the Jets are very highly likely. Look at the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, don't count them out. Don't count out the Colts. That's the team. That's the team that could get Jimmy Garoppolo. The Colts. I'm going to throw that team out there. The Colts. It's a sleeper team. But I do think he'd go to the Jets. Another Hufanga interception. Hufanga, you know he's going to make a big play. Frazzle, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's see. Hey, Peter Parker, my man. He says that live was great. Really hope we can re-sign Jimmy and keep him in the Bay until he hangs him up. I do too, man. You don't really see that a lot these days. The players retire, you on the same team. You just don't see that. Joe Staley, a rare breed. He stayed from start to finish with the team that drafted him. You don't see that. Niner for life. It's very rare to see a player go through his whole career with one team. So we shall see. We shall see. Again, I love Jimmy Ward, and I would love to see him back. Because he's been with this team through a lot. He's been through a lot of adversity. He's been through injuries. He's been through, position changes. They did it all with Jimmy Ward, man. He's seen so many coaches. He's seen so many defensive coordinators. That's the other thing. Jimmy has had so many different coaches and schemes, and he's tried to do his best with all these different coaches around. So, yeah, they do pay their vets. Appreciate you, Debbie. You think Rodgers will come to the Niners? No. I think Rodgers might hang it up. I think he might retire. But you never know what's going to happen in the offseason. It's crazy times, right? Alberto says, I will not rule out New England for Jimmy. You never know. You never know. He might go back home to New England. You never know. He might go back with Billy if they pay him enough. I mean, Jimmy's playing his ass off, man. He's earning his money this season. He's had a good season this year. He's probably his best of his career so far. If you look at the numbers between him and Tua, they're pretty similar. Team is looking good, man. That's all I'm going to say is that Jimmy Garoppolo is winning. He has a good career record, 41-19. It's a pretty damn good record. Obviously there's more to it, defense and run game and all these things. But Kyle Shanahan hasn't won without him. So that's a good resume. That's something he can argue when he's out there, chasing that bag. So we'll see. Appreciate you, 49ers, Raj. Shades by Shardaw says Brady to New England. I mean, that's a rumor. We'll see. Brady, one more dance in New England? We'll see. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to hop off this live because I have to get ready. I'm going to go hop on with 49er Minded, my man Bash. We are going to go and hop on. I'm going to hop on his show, and we're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins preview. So I will end this live. Good news. Arik Armstead is back, and he's going to play Sunday. I will see you soon. I'm going to hop off. We're going to go join my boy Bash, 49er Minded. Make sure you guys tune in. I'll go share it on my Instagram. I'm pretty sure he sent me all the stuff to share. So I'm going to go share it. You guys hop on. I love you. Bang, bang. Nana Gang. Is it on IG or YouTube? It is on YouTube. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. Let me get some water. I'm thirsty. Love you.